You know, which is now a
So like Max
huge
Payne type
trip.
stuff.
Well, but preceded Max Payne. You know, this is before
Hmm.
Max Payne
But I'm saying
existed.
like in that
Yeah,
vein.
exactly. Um, yeah.
Oh no, John Woo, man, that was classic. That
Mhm.
definitely
Hmm.
predated Max Payne. Shit,
Yep.
that's all spin-offs. John Woo,
I'm
they
aware, but I never watched John Woo, so I need a parallel to understand.
oh man, they patented the
90s.
John Woo dance of death thing where the guy's getting
Mhm.
shot by an automatic weapon and the actor was just standing there jerking
Double.
obscene like like 10,000 bullets are hitting him and they're like all the little explosions and blood pellets are going off. It's like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
yep,
Without
John Woo
John.
dance of death.
Without John Woo, there probably wouldn't be much of a Matrix because a lot of you know, he was a heavy influence on the Matrix people. I don't
Hmm.
think he did anything directly. I would have remembered it from the 90s. But yeah. And Tarantino was a huge fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I brought him up. But anyway, when we last left off, uh, you guys had had gotten back to Saltmarsh, sat in on a council meeting. Well, actually, not just sat in. You were part of a war council meeting where it was discovered that because there apparently had been heavy construction on the old fortress of the lizard folk, which has now been taken over by the Zahagan, they need somebody to scout it, um, without necessarily getting engaging the enemy just yet, so that they know exactly where and how to hit it without destroying the entire fortress. The lizard folk would very much like to recapture their homestead if at all possible. Uh,
In One Piece.
in one as much of one piece as it is all possible to do is
And they
basically
requisitioned the Stormy Jack.
they're hoping that the Stormy Jack will go and scout. I believe that your party had said yes to that. At which point you guys went back went back to your ship, discovered that Dovin had left unknown if he was coming back, but he left behind the translated book that you guys picked up in Ethos, showing off some of the locations of the teleport circle of the teleport towers. Um, and then you guys went back into the square, met up with Carly, and bought some things. The most recent which, Topaz, had just received a pair of bracers and offered to tattoo something for for Carly. Carly, however, holds up a hand. She digs into one bag, pulls out a this kind of a crystalline bottle with some sort of white solution inside. She holds it up, looks at it for a moment, then smiles and hands it over towards Topaz. I don't actually need one on me, sweetie, but. And she gestures at Lobu. I think a tattoo of a dolphin on his lower back would be quite exquisite.
I mean, yeah, that sounds pretty good. I like dolphins.
Would you be willing to do that for me, sweetie?
Oh sure. Yeah.
That ink should look very dashing on him.
Ah, this is great. Thanks, thanks, both of you.
We'll get we'll get started on that right away. Come on, Lobu. Let's go give you a bitch stamp.
Yeah.
Good luck. May Woos guide your waves. She waves.
Quick question to make sure I remember properly. I got goggles of dark vision, correct?
Is it in your inventory?
Let me check.
I believe you did get some goggles. I think they were for dark vision. Yes, I think it was like goggles of night or something along those lines.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I got the goggles and not the helm of underwater or whatever. Because I
Yeah,
didn't
it was
think I
definitely
did.
the goggles.
All right, we're gonna do the dolphin, but I want to make the eyes look slightly like Carly's.
What ability to use? I'm gonna use enhance ability on this check for you.
Topaz, do you have any purple ink?
Sure, I do.
All right, so it's like you can easily outline the dolphin, do the dolphin in the white ink that Carly gave you, and then do the eyes in purple if you like to match her eyes.
Am I using Dex for this, I guess, or?
Yeah, we're gonna use Dex on this. It's like you might do a let's see, an intelligence check first, just to lay on the trace, and then Dex to actually see how well you do the tattoo itself. And then Lobu has to roll a Constitution saving throw.
So, which are you putting those? You putting that on my Dex or my intelligence?
I'll do Dex.
Right.
First roll.
The tracing of the dolphin came out very nicely. It looks just how you imagine it in your head.
And advantage. Dex.
All right. Libu, I do need a Constitution saving throw from you.
Okay, so this is kind of pushing it, but I do have an ability.
You flinch, I'm going to stunning punch you.
Exactly. I've got an ability from Warlock that. There we go. So that's for concentrating on a spell.
Yep.
So it doesn't.
Well, if it's a concentration on a spell, still, you can use that to focus on your patron.
Rad.
Yeah, if Dread's somewhere near you, you get +5.
It only
So
makes
much
me
typing.
stronger.
Libu does not flinch. He doesn't scream. He just sits there and gazes off into the middle distance.
Excellent. That means I can really dig the needles in. Put it in deep.
It's by
All right.
far the toughest Lobu has ever been, and it's getting a dolphin tramp stamp.
Don't touch it. Keep it clean. Should
Topaz?
feel much better tomorrow.
Thanks, Topaz.
Topaz?
Hmm.
We're about to go into a submerged fortress. How's he gonna keep it clean?
I don't know. It's his problem, not mine now. I put the tattoo on. If he goes in the water and the salt gets in it, he'll scream.
If he gets infected, I'll clean it.
No, the white ink seems to settle in perfectly into his skin without, it looks like it's already healed over and, it's looking perfect. The purple ink for the eyes, on the other hand, look like any other tattoo at this juncture. And will be raw and possibly painful.
Actually, is the captain with us? Out of character?
Yeah, she's like saying, I think I'm gonna go to bed.
Oh. Topaz,
Yes,
we're heading out tomorrow, aren't we?
I guess. I don't know.
Lobu,
You know what?
would you mind if I attempted to heal that tattoo a little early?
I guess it's kind of Carly's tattoo as well. Carly, what's up? You think that's all right?
Well, I imagine you guys did this back on the ship,
Oh, that makes
not
sense.
instead of in the middle of the square.
Yeah, go for it, man. Whatever.
Okay. I attempt to cast Cure Wounds on it.
Alright.
And I actually did have a quick question for Carly before we had left.
Lobu, you feel fine at the moment. And sure, you can go back to the stand. And as you get back, you see that Carly is starting to pack up her things into various bags.
And Carly, just something I wanted to bring up in regards to your own tattoo in the future.
Yes, sweetie.
Were you wanting to use the magic ink that I'm working on creating?
I see. I don't need a tattoo on me. I'm interested in maybe tattooing you, getting you tattooed, or something else interesting.
See, I'm unsure if a tattoo would work on me. Possibly, if we could find an artisan, maybe an etching would be enough of a masterwork.
Perhaps.
I, I just wanted to make sure because you seem like the kind of person that can get their hands on unique items. If you happen to find any gemstones that you believe would make a wonder a rich enough ink,
Hmm.
hold on to it, and I'll see once I get my formula worked out if I can make that ink for you. Should you
Oh,
have any other work you need us to work to
that would be
do?
splendid, sweetie. I'll try to keep that in mind.
It may take some time though, given the expense, and we do have other concerns going.
Oh, I quite understand.
But either way, have a wonderful. And I return to the ship.
So yeah, when what do we got to do? Can we leave soon, or should we try and do something else while everyone else is tired and whatever?
I wouldn't mind a rest just so I could prepare some more effective spells for what we're about to do.
Topaz finds herself standing with her arms crossed, staring critically at your back, Lobo.
What is it?
She's
Is
got
it
her head
bad?
tilted at an odd angle.
Is it weird? Does it look
Oh
weird?
no, it looks fine. I did a good job. I was just at a certain angle under certain lighting. It just kind of looks like a giant sperm on your back. But no, it's fine.
Lobu kind of tries to
Sperm with
like a
purple
dog,
eyes.
like a
Maybe you
dog
should get
chasing
that
its
checked.
tail.
Well, I did say it looks exactly like Topaz imagined it.
Apparently, Topaz imagined sperm.
So we're gathering our things and get ready to go on the scouting trip, I guess, the next day.
And I now have dark vision up to 60 feet.
Gathering our things. What things? We have rations on the ship.
Yep.
Nothing else to gather.
Yeah, you still have 129 units of general food and water, 11 salted snake steaks, and 9 bits of snake jerky. In the general supplies of the ship.
Hey, Lobu.
Yep.
Could you get some fish for Fumble's friend?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'll go feed Squish. Squish fish.
Squish lumbers over to you and noses at your midsection. What was that?
Oh, darling. Put it down a little
I'm
bit.
hearing lots of screaming. What's going on?
She's watching Rocky Horror Picture Show. No, not
Oh.
Rocky. American Horror Story.
Ah, let's just say Rocky Horror
I'm
Picture Show.
so-
It did not sound like Rocky Horror Picture Show, but that's awesome.
American Horror
Never seen American
Does it
Horror
sound-
Story.
Hotel.
Yeah, never seen any of those. So yeah, Libu, you come down there and you feed Squish, and Squish noses you in the midsection.
Yeah, I like hand him a fish. I'm like, sorry about all your babies or whatever, but like you probably
Jump,
shouldn't
jump,
eat all
jump,
those
jump,
spores.
jump, jump, jump. And looks up
Okay.
eagerly at you for some more.
I mean, okay, sure, yeah. And then I just like kind of toss him 3.
Squish is busy eating now.
So we don't have a Volan tonight.
No, yeah, she's got some things in real life, unfortunately.
Okay. Does that put Noxie in charge?
By default, yeah.
Matt Roland is laying down with a headache. So that's return to Captain Noxie.
This time not by stealing the role, but by actual just next commanding officer.
Mm-hmm. That's what that's what the job of the first mate is for.
Do you know the first thing about Sahagin?
What's the first thing?
They're called Sahuagin.
Noxie just writes on his sign, fish? Question mark.
No, I can see I'm probably going to have to run this scouting mission. That's fine. Still worried about the sharks. We're not going to have a Dovin.
Which really sucks for a couple of reasons, but I think we'll do fine.
Do merfolk ever have casters in their ranks?
Yeah, of course.
It's a long shot, but do you think before we head out, any of them might be able to assist us?
I don't
Obviously,
know.
they don't need to themselves, but maybe they would have access to magic that allows us to navigate the water more easily.
You have an emissary group here.
I mean, I carried one to the meeting.
Yeah, there was a mer woman at the meeting.
Remember Aaron?
Yes. So, I mean, where are they, though?
Just down the shore. If we're on the deck, I'd point in the direction that I took her.
Yeah, you can see from here that there's a bit of a strange kelp bed that wasn't there before. Apparently that's where the merfolk are holed up.
Before we head out, we could ask, just on the off chance that they have something.
All right. Well, let's go see. I go jump in the water. Are they on a ship? Are they?
They are currently held up in a small basically a couple of kelp huts of some kind right near the docks. Looks like just the equivalent of what you would see as like huts underwater. And Aaron
Like
is
a big ball of woven kelp.
yeah. There's like several like pushed together, and Aaron is kind of like hanging out there along with two others.
All right. I'll go swimming up.
One of the merfolk pulls out readies a sphere for a moment until like looking up and down, and Aaron pulls up a hand, saying, I recognize her. She was at the meeting." And she turns to you. She's speaking in Aquan. Well met. Uh, what brings you to consult with us?
Well, Matt, we were, as I'm so sure you saw, chosen to go to the scouting mission, look at the Sahagin lair, and we're without a few of our party that might have proven useful, namely one of our spellcasters, a druid. I know we're going to be dealing with the Sahagin's pet sharks. Thought we
Yes.
might ask if you have any casters among your number that might be willing to go.
And she thinks there for a moment. Well, we do have one, our druid. saying Tesh. Do you need to speak with him?
Well, if he's willing to go, we will be leaving in the morning.
Oh, you wish for him to go with you?
Yes, we might have use of such spells to get into the lair.
Roll a persuasion check. She nods a bit. Yes, considering considering what you and your team has been asked to do, it only since they're not all able to breathe underwater like us. She goes into one of the kelp huts, and soon comes out with, well, probably what the merfolk equivalent of Dovin, like an older merfolk. Looks like he's had a bunch of years behind him. Looks like maybe he spent a lot of time doing as much scholarly things as merfolk usually do, which isn't much from your understanding of merfolk culture. But there's probably scholars among everyone somewhere along the line. This is Sangtesh. Mm. Hello, Sea Elf. I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
It is Topaz.
Topaz. Oh, and I hear that you need a spellcaster with you, someone of more of my skills of shaping and such.
It might prove useful, especially for getting in unseen.
Yes, we'll need. Well, the Sahagin do need to be dealt with. They are threatening our lands as much as anyone else's. Yes, it is only right that I should accompany you if your group lacks the means for some of the spells that I can do. My people here will be all right.
Yes, it's fine. If you will be ready when at the dawn, then we will be leaving then. I assume you would be following the ship in the sea.
Yes, I can do that. Just need to know which one your ship is.
It is the Stormy Jack. We're only a few down along the pier.
I meant from underwater ways. How will I know your ship from underneath the water to follow it?
I believe we'll be the only one heading out toward the Sahagin.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. In the morning then.
Very well. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. And he swims back into his hut. Aaron kind of looks to you. Is there anything else you'll need?
Nope, that was it.
Well, I hope you're able to take care of this soon and get the information that we require.
Me as well. Well, I don't think it's going to be as easy as we like.
Things seldom are. Be safe.
Thank you. I head back.
Alright.
He's already wearing the captain's hat.
Yeah. Volan's apparently laying down. And Noxie is once again in the hat.
She's in
Did that cut off? Because I just heard something and then nothing.
You said Noxie's in the hat?
I am wearing the hat, yes.
Oh no. We're doomed. We're doomed.
Since we're staying overnight in town, I would like Lobu is going to sneak away at some point, disguise himself as Samblay, and head for the
Sorry.
in,
internet.
in the place where Samblay was hanged?
Yes, he's gonna wait until he gets right near the
Okay.
internet, though.
Alright, I just wanted to check on this.
Yeah, nowhere near guards.
So, where are you going then if nowhere near guards?
Basically, because the empty net that's the pirate bar, right?
Yes.
Or the suspected pirate bar.
Yes. Yes.
He's gonna, and it's out kind of on a dock, right?
That
Am
it
I
is.
remembering that correctly? He's basically gonna swim out there, and then underwater transform into Samblay, and then crawl his way out.
Alright,
onto
roll
the
a deception check.
With advantage, if that's okay, because I'm pretending to be someone else.
Yes. Alright. Tell me what you do once you get in there.
He's gonna sit down at the bar, order a beer, and then start talking to anyone who will listen to about how Samblay was saved by the Sea Mother.
Why is Lobu like this?
So, after the bartender hands you the beer, several people look over in your direction, especially hearing that name, and you hear an audible gasp. There's the sound of glass shattering and the dropping of a mug, and somebody starts screaming, Ghost! And you hear the sound of several weapons being drawn.
I'm gonna go towards, if I can go towards them and a window in which I can see outside, I'm gonna step towards them.
Let me see if there is a window that you can see out of. Because I think there's an actual different description. Alright. Alright, if there are windows in this establishment, they are shuttered and covered in nets. You really can't see out of them. The guy behind the bar, the rather tough-looking, thuggish type, is taking a better look at you. Is also coming out from behind the bar. Is like, either you're some sort of ghost or a zombie or something, but definitely not holding to having the likes of you in my place.
Samblay was saved by the Sea Mother. Tell the princess Samblay lives.
Roll
and he's
a
gonna-
persuasion check. I don't care who you are. You're getting out of here. And he goes. He looks like he's about to try to grab you. Thinks better of it and pulls a short sword from his belt. And there's several other startled-looking, tough-looking individuals who also are looking back and forth, trying to figure out if they should be attacking you, running you out, or just running away.
I am going to cast. No, sorry. I almost cast Distant Whispers on this guy, which would have could have killed him, which is no good. I'm just going to Misty Step near the door.
All right. Well, I figured you're kind of almost in front of the door at this point because that was the only way to look outside the building.
Oh yeah, if I can see 30 feet out of the door.
Yeah.
Lobu's gonna straight up just disappear.
All right.
But not after, shouting about the Sea Mother.
Yeah, you shout about the Sea Mother, you disappear. no one seems to be following outside the door. It's like they're all, gripped by something inside the tavern.
I'll dive into the sea and change my appearance.
Meanwhile, what's Dread doing?
I was waiting. Let's see. Did Carly say how long it would take for her to make that necklace?
Oh, and basically, in the time that it took for Topaz to finish tattooing Lobu, uh, she had it finished, and when she saw Cogsworth coming up, she handed it over to Cogsworth, saying, "Oh, just give this to Dread." And when Cogsworth finally comes back, I imagine he would have handed it to you.
Okay.
Yes, I would have. As soon as I found it. Her.
So you now have
Dead.
a dragon tooth necklace.
All right. I'll wear it.
Yay.
Noxie, what are you up to?
Um. Well, I don't know. Noxie's basically just kind of pacing around, looking with the captain's hat, like looking like she's authoritative, and like every now and then like points at one of the crew and just like doesn't say anything because she can't, and then just keeps going, keeps walking around.
So she's riding her very short high horse.
Yes.
So none of the phrases that you have in your stone come into play with them.
Maybe every now and then she'll let out a fear my strength.
And Topaz and
Yep.
Cogsworth, what are you two doing?
I did type a thing to see if Topaz would respond.
See what? Oh.
Inside the bag of holding, I see that there's a belt that has several gems sewn into it. Any that are less valuable, is there any chance I could use them to work on that magical ink we discussed earlier? I do need to perfect the formula.
I have no idea whose belt that is or what it's doing in there.
It doesn't seem to have any purpose to it. I believe it was simply treasure you picked up along the way. I wanted to ask permission before using it in case you had intentions to sell it.
I didn't because I didn't know it was there. And it's not mine, so probably have to find out whose it is.
I'll ask around if anyone's up, but I won't do anything with it until I get the okay.
It's also possible Dovin just left it in there.
But also in the party treasure, it's just listed as gemmed belt 400 GP, so...
Yeah. Like I said, I imagine that it was just something that was picked up from a treasure trove somewhere.
But until I hear something from someone authoritative, like Volan or Topaz, I won't use it.
Alright. Imagine it's about this point that Lobu finally comes back.
Oof,
Get
they
up to any
do
trouble?
not like zombies around here, let me tell you.
What did you do?
Nothing that will ever come back to us.
So you say. But the lies you tell have a tendency to come back to us.
No.
In
Not
some
that,
cases, they literally haunt us.
Name one time.
Yeah, name one single time.
Claire.
Name 2 times.
Sea Mother.
Points at Noxie. What's ever happened bad with the Sea Mother?
Points at your chest.
There's no proof that's bad.
It's a tumor.
Tumors can be good. Haven't you ever seen the play Phenomenon?
I've been asleep for 500 years. The only
It's-
phenomenon that's happened to me is I was asleep for 500
it-
years.
Great. Let me tell you.
I'm simply concerned about whatever phenomenon you just created while you were gone. But I'm tired. I need to recharge. I better not wake up in handcuffs.
Foxy puts her hand on Lobu's shoulder and says, "No, I did not steal it."
Can
She
Noxie
walks away.
reach Lobu's shoulder?
No, probably not.
How tall is Noxie?
She is 3'5".
And Lebu is
5 foot.
yeah he is on the short side of a for an elf, for a sea elf and everything like that. So
Mm.
I imagine if Lebu was slightly slumped down and Noxie steps on her tiptoes, you could probably reach his shoulder.
Hmm. So it's an amusing sight.
I think Cogsworth might be the tallest of the party.
That or Volan.
Well, that's
Since she's
true.
a half orc.
Yeah, that's true.
I tend to make my characters 6 foot because it's easier to think of with my character in the same height as I am.
I don't
I was
think I've
in
ever
one. Go
given.
ahead.
I don't think I've ever given one of my characters my same height.
Honestly, I've been traumatized a little bit for short characters. The one time I was a short character, I was a gnome. I thought, hey, I'd still be able to use a normal door because they're about 3 feet high. No, every single doorknob and lever in this guy's campaign was 5 or 6 feet off the ground.
Ouch. That
Yeah,
is really high.
Sounds
Yeah.
like he's got a thing against shorties.
Either
I
that,
had
or you're
no
running into
clue.
civilizations run by
Yes.
somehow run by Goliaths or something along those lines.
It was a normal human settlement.
Ew, doors at chin height. That's bad.
Exactly.
I mean, who would put
He
it
made
right
me
there
look
when you?
for a step stool so I could lift the bar blocking the door while the house was burning down.
Ew. Did you die in the fire?
I did not.
Okay, that's good. So, Noxie, after squeezing Lebu's shoulder, do you do anything else?
No.
Roll a perception check for me, will you, Noxie?
Sure. It is not at advantage.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they wish to do for this particular evening?
Sleep.
You hear a distant curse coming from Volan's room.
Just for clarity, Lobu is attuning to the rock magic bracelet again.
Alright. So Lubu's attuning to that. Everyone else is attuning to things. They have no...
I'm just happy I can see in the dark now.
If no one else has anything else they wish to do for the evening?
I don't think so.
Alright. And we will move on to the next day.
Quick question.
Yes?
What color is the lens of my goggle?
What color do you want it to be?
I was hoping they'd be red, so now my eyes glow purple.
They can be red, because I was actually seeing purple in my head, and if they glow purple because of your eyes, this is good.
Of
Alright.
course, fumbles around while we're wearing the goggles. Hers just becomes more vibrant, a hotter.
Mhm. Yep. So, as the next day comes about, Volan is kind of groaning and clutching to Topaz.
What's the matter with you?
Don't feel so good. Guess Noxie's gonna have to be in charge, he grumbles.
Well, there's something going around. Maybe you caught it.
Maybe he gave it to me.
Social distancing.
Can you just make sure she doesn't burn the ship down somehow?
I can try. You know how nice he is.
Yep. Inner goblin laughter. Anyway. So, Dread, what are you doing this morning as you wake up?
Just go out and look at the water and wait.
You see some of the crew members walking back and forth, and one of them was touching the other one, and another one looks at Dread, and is Noxie really in charge again?
For now, I think the captain's sick.
Hopefully, we'll raise a glass to her and hope that she recovers soon. Cogsworth, what are you up to?
Cogsworth would go over to Topaz whenever she leaves the room.
Alright. Noxie, what about you?
Well, today's the day we're sailing to this Hagen fort, right?
Yep.
All right, I'll just Noxie will just make any preparations that we need to make to do for that trip, I guess. I mean, I've got
To do
everything.
the do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main thing is, of course, getting everyone fed, which is typically Lobu's job.
Yeah, he'll be out there fishing.
Oh no. He's been cursed. He's turned into a robot like me! It's a cursed amulet!
Trinkets.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. Give me a second.
I see anything with a quilt pattern, I'm hitting it with Sacred Flame.
Oh, yes, half the party who don't like Claire that much for some reason. I cannot spell. Hold on, I'm still looking up the trinkets. Give me a sec, please.
Has Topaz left her room yet?
Probably.
Topaz, were you able to reach the merfolk? Were they available?
Yes, they're sending one with us.
Wonderful.
Ah, here we go. Let me roll 2d100, please. You end up pulling up a very strange-looking vial. Uh, it seems to have some sort of purplish liquid at the bottom of it. It's half full. And there's a small jar. Also, oh, sorry, hold on. Ah, there's also some kind of what looks at first like just a piece of driftwood, but it's definitely a switch of some kind. Um, with a bit of leather, a bit of a leather handle. Can you hear me, Libu?
I missed little bits.
You're still roboting.
May need to put it in chat for him. I'm just glad my internet finally stabilized.
Yeah.
And when you say switch, do you mean like a hit and stick?
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of switch.
So like what Topaz has, without the point.
So yeah.
Do I see him fish? Go ahead.
Roll perception check.
I was wondering if I see him fish stuff up.
Thankfully, he pulls up enough fish to feed everybody.
14.
And yeah, I imagine that since you're out on deck, you could definitely see Lebu pulling up a strange vial. I mean, the purple is very different from the color of the fish, so it kind of stands out.
Hey, Lobu.
Lobu
I
can't
forgot
hear
he
you right
left
now.
voice.
He's not
I
currently
just-
in voice. Just waiting for him to log back in.
Yeah. Well, just letting you know out of character for when he does come back in. I was just gonna ask if I could look at it as we head to the Sahuagin layer, and I'd like to try and identify that and the bubbling blue in the bag.
All right.
Could I or someone else possibly get edit permissions on the handout just because Volan's not here?
I know. Wait, hold on. Who currently has handout permissions? Party treasure. Oh yeah, Volan. Who would like to take the responsibility of keeping track of the bag of holding?
I'm currently holding it, so I have no problem with it.
Are you guys fine with voting Caladriel into this position?
Fine.
All right.
Yep, that's fine.
Then you have it. Okay, so now
Okay,
Cogs versus Duty.
Just because I'm paranoid that I'll forget something, feel free to ask at any time or bring up something that should be added, but I will keep track of it.
Oh yeah, that's what I do with when Dovin had it. I would always tell him that.
I go out looking. Did the merfolk show up?
Yeah, you see him swimming along, looking up looking up at the ships, and then he seems to spot you as as you look over the side, and he swims in the direction of your ship. And he waves a bit. There you are. I wasn't sure what time we were leaving.
Soon.
Meanwhile, Lebu, Cogsworth asked you if you could look at that vial that you got.
And how many fish did you catch before I send the merfolk your way? I want to make sure that.
He caught 17, so that's 6 for the crew, and the rest to do with what you please.
I'll point out to the merfolk. Breakfast over here if you want it.
Thank you.
Lobu.
Can you hear me?
Yay, we can hear you.
So, when you fished up the vial and the switch thing, I just walked over and asked if I could look at the vial. I'm gonna try to identify that and the bubbling potion we have in the bag.
Yeah, he'll hand it over, and then as he does, he's like, "So pumped up about this mission!" And he uses Mask of Many Faces to transform into like a larger version of himself with a big crazy mohawk.
Getting
Hey, Lobo.
flashes of Mad Max.
And I actually had one other question, Lobo.
Yeah.
As a favor,
Mm.
my skill with alchemy seems to be a little rusty. I know you've been helping others magically. Could you give me a boost to the old noggin?
Oh hell yeah, definitely. And I'll cast Enhance Ability with the intelligence one.
And I will attempt to identify the two potions.
Do you have the
Well,
identify spell?
I was meaning using my knowledge of alchemy, see if I could identify anything about them, like, even if it's just like buff or poison.
All right.
Like maybe take a few drops out of it and use my herbalism, see if I could get any kind of evidence as to their nature, because I don't have access to identify.
Okay.
Would that be possible to at least attempt?
Yeah, that seems okay.
Right, and I'm rolling with intelligence.
Yes.
There's one.
So which one is this on? All right. You look at it, and you study it with your herbalism kit, and you're still not sure what in the world it is and what it does.
Darn, even with a 21. And then the blue one.
The blue one, you just study it for a little bit and realize, oh, it's a potion of heroism.
Ooh. We have 2 of those now.
Actually, it's entirely possible that the one that's listed in there could be the same one that you just took out.
I mean, the blue potion's from the spider boat, the heroism's from the tooth slayer.
Okay, then yes, you have 2 of them then.
That'll be good to have, though. Especially with the rowdy bunch we have.
Lobo, just checking, but are you getting my whispers?
Yeah, I am.
Oh no.
And the second whisper I just sent you, that is for that second thing, yes.
Got it.
And after trying to identify the purple, I will hand it back to Lobu. Yeah, I got nothing. Whatever it is beyond my knowledge. Don't drink it.
But okay, all right, fine. Do we know anyone who can identify?
Maybe the tower or university, wherever it was back in Orin.
Do you wanna just hold on to that for
Sure.
a minute? Cool.
Is it too hard to resist drinking?
Yes. It smells
is a
really
pretty-
good, man.
It is a pretty shade of purple, but I'll put it away.
So Lobu is now looking very buff as you guys come out from your sleeping quarters and get on the deck, or in Topaz's case, just turning around and looking at him. But at any rate, it is up to Captain Noxie as to whether or not the ship launches today.
I was in my Noxie was in my room. I was in my room. So
So Topaz, is our friend here?
Right right over there in the water.
Wonderful. I heard you offer them breakfast.
Yelling out to one of the sailors. Somebody go wake the goblin up.
On it. I'll knock on Noxie's door.
Noxie will open the door. She
Are you-
has like some kind of goo on her hands, but she's like wiping it on her clothes.
Oh no. Do I see the goo?
Roll a perception check, Cogsworth. Yes, you do see the goo.
What color is the goo?
It's white.
Is that the color that was in the eggs?
You think so?
Noxie, what are you doing with the eggs?
She writes, because she doesn't have a phrase for this, cooking.
Okay. Caldor goes back on his day.
Oh wait, yeah, I do have a phrase for this. My food.
Well, she is
I forget you said.
she is the chef of this particular ship, as well as the
Even
first
though
off.
Even though I randomly cooked that one time.
Yes, but to be fair, you were the oven.
Mm-hmm.
That
That was funny though. Double crit for freaking fish.
yeah.
Noxie's looking up at Lobu.
You ready to set sail, Captain Noxie?
His muscles are bigger, and his mohawk is standing straight up. It looks a lot like a fin.
She nods.
Just battle ready, you understand. Well, really kind of strike some fear into some hearts.
Fear my strength.
Exactly.
Okay. Yep, so Noxie's just gonna have the let's set sail sign, and she's gonna show it to a bunch of the crew.
Aye, aye, Captain Noxie. They
Noxie pinches herself.
they read your sign and salute.
All right, pulling out.
Alright. Topaz starts the ship off. And your new merfolk friend follows along in your wake. At least, it's a pretty good bet he is. You start heading south, which is where you were told that the fort is. It's actually not too far away. The mountains are actually quite close to Saltmarsh. They're only they're only about 10 miles south of maybe 5 to 10 miles south of Saltmarsh, and then it's just in the cove that's outside of it where the mountains, the whole ridge itself just seems to descend sharply into the water. There's like some scattered, rocks and points around there, and it just looks like some mountain may have submerged a long time ago, or some other phenomenon that makes it look that way. But inside this cove, basically, is where the old fortress of the lizard folk happens to be. And as I said, you guys have actually passed by this ridge a few times and not known what's there before. It's just like one of those water hazards that boats just seem to instinctively steer away from.
So
But
is the entrance above water or below water?
The entrance to the cove itself is cove. Is that the right word? Lagoon? No, not lagoon. It is definitely the entrance to the area is above water, but the fortress itself has entrances. One entrance above and one entrance below water, and it's recommended that the ship, at least in the briefing that you received, it's not recommended that the ship gets close enough to be seen by the Sahagin. This is supposed to be a scouting mission, after all. But the choice is yours as to what you wish to
What can our merfolk friend do?
do. That's a good picture. Uh, so your merfolk friend, is kind of swimming along behind. And once you get towards this cove, he comes up closer alongside and waits to see if you come to talk to him or not.
Yeah. See anything your skills can add here. We need to try to get in there as little interference as possible.
How many of your crew can swim?
Well, I think they can all swim, just not very well.
Hmm. Because uh, I can do the water breathing on them and make it so. Are you aware of the ability to pass without a trace? Have you heard of this?
Oh yeah.
I think our druid friend has done it times.
Yes. Well, I can cast water breathing, which will of course last till the same time tomorrow on all of your non-water breathing individuals in your crew. But I can also, as far as in towards the fortress itself, cast pass without a trace on everybody. Uh, I do not know if I'll be very handy in a fight, but I can at least do that for you. If that is of any help.
Can you heal?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Can you heal?
I can do some healing. I suppose you do need the skills of a healer. At least you assume so.
All right then. We'll try to stay close to you as we move in.
Very well.
I don't think we need to go too far in. This is just a scouting mission, but far enough to see what they have. Well, I guess everybody's jumping in the water.
Yep.
Did we get a short or long rest?
You got a long rest. This was
That's what I
overnight.
thought.
I meant on the boat, just like on the trigger.
Oh yeah, because I think because Lobo cast spells.
Yeah, I'll have an extra spell slot.
Yeah, he just
that's all.
he just you guys got a short rest here then, if that's the case.
Nice. All right, dude. Yeah, this is great.
Okay, this is weird. I'm trying to find the Merfolk one, and I know I have it because I was looking at it earlier. But where did it go? I was even showing handouts of it a while ago. Because I thought I did. Weird.
I think before I jump in, I'll actually cast armor Agathis on myself at level 2.
We
Wait.
all have water breathing cast on us.
Turn yourself into an ice cube.
Exactly.
And before I jump in, I will also cast.
Oh, cool! They updated dynamic lighting. I can now set vision easily without having to put those stupid numbers in.
Yay!
As well as be able to say if it has lights on it at the same time as having vision instead of having to sacrifice one for the other. Ugh. That was always one of the most annoying things, and now it's been fixed finally.
Nice. But before I jump in, I did want to go ahead and cast Aid at 3rd level on Topaz, Dread, and Lobu.
Okay.
They now have 10 increased HP.
Right, I'm just gonna use this token, even though it doesn't fit exactly with your new friend. so we can keep track of him.
Noxie's just stretching on the deck.
Also, I did have one quick question in regards to Caladrel, seeing as he doesn't need to breathe.
All right. Not Caladriel, you mean Cogsworth?
Or Cogsworth. Yep, sorry, I looked at my own freaking Discord.
Yeah.
While I don't need to breathe, I still can't cast verbal components, correct? Because water.
Correct. Not while
Aquans
underwater.
can, though, can't they?
Yeah.
The creatures that speak
Because
Aquan?
it's natural for them to be underwater. So
Okay.
if you can speak Aquan, you can communicate underwater.
And I guess water breathing doesn't enable that for the other people with spells.
Not particularly, no.
So no verbal spells.
Correct. And you have disadvantage on melee weapons, I believe.
I kept spears because I have a spear.
That's why I said melee weapons.
Except
Spears. Just
certain weapons have special.
yeah. A
Like
trident, for
spear and
example.
crossbow and
Yeah.
trident.
Yeah. So Sanctash casts Pass Without a Trace, which means you get plus 10 to your stealth. Sanctash also casts water breathing on Dread and Noxie.
Yep, and Noxie's got a ring of swimming, so she's fine in swimming speed of 40 feet.
Dagger, javelin, short sword, spear, trident. That's the things that are okay. Crossbow, net.
Yeah, and I believe that that ranged weapons, they can't do anything outside of their proper range, right? Not even disadvantage. It just straight up doesn't work.
Correct.
Right.
So you get into the.
Although I've seen Eldritch Blast should work fine because it's just spells like that.
Yeah. So underwater, for those of you who for Topaz and Lobu, this is just returning home. Basically, this feels so familiar, especially after all that time they spent on the land. And yeah, the two of you tend to roam along underwater plenty of times during with your companions, like at least once a day, usually more than that. But still, this is the first time you've actually been in a more of a fighting formation, or even a stealthy formation, and it's nice to be around here. For the rest of you, for Noxie and Cogsworth and Dread, this is pretty much a new experience for the three of you to be so far underwater. Uh, some of you might have been like swimming or like even walked into the shallows at some point or another, but never before have you been so deep that looking up you can't really see the sun except for the occasional ray that has reached down past your boat. And there are scores of fish swimming by. There's some colorful coral in various shades of pink and purple and white as the bits of sunlight actually hit them. You don't see anything immediately threatening as you glance around. I would like everybody now to roll me a stealth check. Remember, all of your scores are plus 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 23.
I roll with disadvantage. Wish me luck. 14.
Huh. That's a modified 30 for disadvantage.
31.
Nice. And the merfolk is very stealthy. Not quite as stealthy as Noxie, who is almost invisible. But, that's what rogues are for. They go invisible at the oddest times. The group of you start making your way towards the partly sunken lair of what used to be the lizard folk. This once proud fortress. And you can see as you get closer, passing by some of the other mountain outcroppings, bits of rock outcroppings that were once part of a mountain, uh, that there's more for the three of you that's never been underwater before. You don't realize anything's wrong, but to Topaz and Lobu, the closer you're getting, the more you realize just how badly disturbed the seabed is as you're heading towards the fortress. Like something came along and brushed everything away from one centralized location, upending coral, kelp, and all sorts of things some time ago, within the last year. And it's only slowly starting to edge back. You see bits of coral here and there that are starting to regrow and reform. Other features that basically just say that you know we're just new and fresh here, and there was a whole lot more silt and sand, silt and the whatnot, dumped on me recently. That sort of thing.
Is that something Sahaga normally do?
Roll a history check with advantage. Taking this fortress to begin with is not something that Sahagin normally do. Not in your knowledge of them, and you and your people. You know a lot more about Sahagin than the stupid land dwellers do. um, but you are aware that they do have some rituals that can upset the seabed, and do other sorts of underwater shenanigans that can cause problems with your settlements and whatnot. Some kind of underwater sculpting, and it looks like they're doing that here with this fortress.
Have a care. They have spellcasters.
So since you are underwater, I will figure out which section you are going to be starting off in.
Does
Are you-
Topaz respond?
Are you speaking in Aquan?
Nope, it's message. It's in your
Oh.
head.
Yeah, you suddenly hear a message in your head.
They have destroyed the seabed here. Probably a ritual, which means they probably have spellcasters. My guess would be clerics.
And I'll pass it along through different messages to the others that don't speak Aquan.
Yeah, the
Noxie
closer
just shrugs.
the closer you guys get, the colder the air, it's colder the water seems to be down here. Noxie and Dread, I would like Constitution saving throws from the two of you.
Constitute.
Oh, no.
Is Noxie within 5 feet of Dread? Or 10 feet, whatever it is.
I imagine that you're close enough. I mean, you were definitely within 30 feet of the of Sanctesh, continuing your pass out the trace. So I'm imagine Noxie's close enough to Dread. Which would give you what, +5?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Alright.
you start to feel a cold, creeping into your little goblin body, and it seems like Dread gets closer to you, and suddenly you're not quite as cold. Maybe it's her, tiefling nature to be warmer than the average person, but it seems to be, doing a good job of keeping you warm enough to withstand what's going on.
All right. Well, then Noxie will be kind of gravitating towards Dread in that case, because she thinks she's stealing her heat.
Okay. All right. So who is leading this party exactly? Is it Topaz in front?
Yeah.
All right. So I'd like Topaz to roll me a perception check.
And here come my good rolls. Yay.
There seems to be some kind of cavern that is formed that exists in front of the southern part of this the underwater section of this particular fortress. Some kind of cave that leads towards it.
How far away is that?
Uh, Probably about 100 feet away.
In a direction we wouldn't otherwise be going. Get out of the way.
No, it seems to be in the same general direction that you're currently headed. Uh, if you were like doing a circuit around the fortress at any distance, you would notice that this particular cave is at the southern end of the fortress, and it appears to be some kind of entrance leading towards it.
All right, I'm gonna motion toward it. Start heading that way.
All right. Let's see. We're gonna keep that stealth approach. Cogsworth is the only one pulling off your throwing off your curve, but because of
Sorry.
the really high rolls that several of you got in the 30s, uh, that kind of makes up for that. And you guys are definitely well stealthed. Yeah. Okay. So as you kind of sink into the cave and swim along in the dark for a little bit, I believe all of you can currently see in the dark, because Cogsworth was the only one that doesn't have it naturally.
Yep, but I have my goggles now.
Yep, so everyone can see. It is dark. At this point, without the sun, even the colors are muted, are pretty much gone. You can see more or less vague outlines of things instead. But occasionally there's some bit of bioluminescence, which leads you to be able to see colors a bit more. But with the dark vision, thankfully you can see well enough to keep yourself from swimming into anything. Everything is like as perfectly visible as if there was a light shining on everything. So that's good. So what you see in front of you is a metal gate along the north that seems to lead directly into the fortress itself, beyond this cave. And as you peer past the bars, you can see various sharks and a whole lot of Sahagins swimming back and forth. They don't seem to be in any position to notice you, thankfully, but there is a ton of activity going in that direction. So much so that even with your capabilities and your obvious skill plus your bravado over top of it, it is doubtful that with the sheer numbers of Sahagin that are past this gate, that you would survive an attack by them. If all of them were
Try to get a
attacking at
rough
once.
count.
Okay.
That's exactly what I asked.
Yep. This calls for another perception check.
Nice.
All right. So after spending a couple of minutes, like holding everybody back and watching them through the gates at a distance, and with your ability to actually differentiate between various Sahagin, as much as you would like to potentially say that they all look alike to you, I mean they're definitely easier to tell apart to you than a lot of humans because Uh, but you count at the very least nearly 70 individual Sahagin, and in addition to that, at least 6 sharks.
Well, alrighty then.
How big are the sharks?
They are shell sharks. Let me see how big those are.
And I don't mean it's the specifics, but I just mean like the little angel sharks that are 12 inches, or like a great white or a whale.
That's what I'm looking up right now. I said that they're listed as shell sharks, and I need to look that up to find out what they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly how big shell sharks are. I assume that they're big enough to be ridden on, but
Mhm.
I'm not 100% on that. So let me look that up. Ah, they're there. Thankfully they're only medium sized.
Okay. So it's like a not like a draft horse, but like a typical pack horse. Nothing crazy, but big enough to be ridden.
They're big enough. Well, actually, they might be more like the size of large dogs, but they. From your perspective, Cogsworth, roll me a perception check of your own. Let's see if you can notice this.
Oh, 16.
They're like like really big dogs, like the 200, 3. Well, I don't think there are 300-pound dogs, but you know what I mean. The ones
Like
that are
Fang from Harry Potter, the big mastiff.
yeah, like huge mastiff type dogs, except sharks,
Mm-hmm.
which have been plated with shells and coral all over their bodies.
Okay.
I want one.
No.
And the your merfolk companion takes a look, is like staring off with you, and let's see how much he sees. Actually, he doesn't see that much. He kind of squints his eyes and looks over towards Topaz and whispers, "Oh, what do you see in there?"
Far too many Sahagin. And the sharks I knew would be there as well.
Do you think
That's
there's
just down here. We don't even know what else is in there. We should maybe look in some of the other entrances as well.
Well, I can only help you in the water. As you know, I have no legs. But actually, then he thinks for a moment. Actually, there might be some way. Perhaps I can transform myself into a small creature that you can carry if need be. I'd only be able to do this 2 or 3 times. But from what I understand, Aaron was talking about with that picture shown around at the meeting, which you guys saw too, by the way. There is an entrance all the way at the top of the fortress. It used to be the way that the lizard folk went between some of the mountain peaks, but now it's lowered significantly, and stairs have been built right towards the some of the water around. So we might be able to get in that way. It might be less guarded than this one, perhaps.
We can try it. Start heading up.
Alright. And for the purposes of this, after you get up to the stupid shoulder.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just moved it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
I hate when I do that.
Making sure you're good.
It's just one of those things where I crack something slightly and it, it hurts.
Last thing we need is the DM and death saves.
Though that would be if I fell backwards on this chair and ran my head into something. But
Mm,
but yeah. So for the purposes of this, I think that the
of
druid
course
is
it's a
going to
crab.
wild shape into a crab, which is easy to pick up and put in your pocket. And because of they're very specialized in ancient techniques, uh, I forget if this is allowable anyway according to the book, but I'm going to allow it for this particular character, simply because of the fact that they can't move on land, but they still maintain their concentration on pass without a trace.
I believe druids, when they're wild shaped, do maintain
Yeah,
that
I'm
concentration.
not 100% on that. So basically saying whether it is or not, uh, your pass without a trace remains constant at the moment. But you
Mhm.
will have to make a new stealth check as you get to the top.
Wish me luck.
Oh,
12.
Cogsworth.
What?
Hogsworth is
I'm
a loud robot.
I'm
Thankfully, nothing
here
heard you.
to I'm here to heal you, not to assassinate things, okay?
Yeah, this is one of those good times where we glad that I'm not doing instantaneous complete failure in that one, because technically it is a 12, and I just made a roll, and whoever is in charge of anything got far less than a 12. Therefore, they did not notice you.
Hallelujah.
Something distracted them, even though you made a lot of noise.
I do have a quick question though in regards to the silence spell.
All right.
Can I cast it on an object or is it only on a point in space?
Um.
Like could I cast it on myself and it move with me? Because I know certain magical darkness can be cast on them
Well,
on yourself.
the problem with that is that the silence would then carry on. It would carry on to everything around you.
Mhm.
Because it's not a one and done thing, it's a radius. And it's something that basically, yeah, you make no noise, but you also can't cast spells. Anyone around you can't cast spells. So it's one of those things that, yeah, if you desperately need it in a pinch and are trying to hide, I would say you can do that. But there's also the thing of you can't hear other people when you do that either. So it is kind of has a good potential and a bad potential there. Does that make sense?
I'm really sorry, but Fumble actually smacked her head a second ago, so I was
Oh
making sure
God,
she
is
was
she okay?
okay. Yes, she's conscious, she's standing, but our dog was barking and being an asshole, and when she bent over to discipline him, she smacked her head on the corner of something
Oh, that's never
outside.
good.
But like I said, she is okay, in pain, obviously. But what were you saying after it would carry on to everything in the surrounding?
Uh, yeah, it's a radius spell. It's not on a single object spell from last I looked.
Well, I know it's a radius spell. I just wanted to check because I know, like, for example, light can be cast on an object and move.
Yeah.
In fact, it has to be cast on an object. But silence is a radius,
I thought it
an
was centered.
immovable
I
radius.
thought it was on a person. Let me double check.
Silence. Here, I'll
Did you guys see
says it in the chat.
Did you guys see the picture that I put up?
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Because that's the place that you're at. Oh, it just says point, which means which means it doesn't move.
Thank you. I would
Yeah,
have to
that
say
makes
or
sense.
object, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm guessing I'm used to silence being cast on a person, but that's from an earlier edition of D&D.
Mm-hmm. That's all I was wondering. I didn't think it worked, but as Cogsworth did have that idea last session.
Alright, can you guys see the map, or is there anybody without vision?
Can't see it
I
yet.
can see it.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, there. Yeah.
And is sight already taken care of?
Can you see everything? And
What do you mean by that?
your night vision is up to 60 feet?
Yeah.
Alright.
I was wondering because it looks like the circle's off center, and I just wanted to make sure that it was actually.
Yeah, Yeah, don't worry about that.
Okay. Yep. I got vision.
No, I'm just going to be updating your tokens for a moment because of these things. It just makes it easier to deal with. Because they did do, I said they did a cool update on that. I want to make sure that everybody has what they can see instead of having to worry about it.
And when we leave the water, did the merfolk want to go anywhere in particular? Like on a particular person's shoulder?
No, the Merfolk didn't have an opinion as to that.
I'll pick him up if no one else does, otherwise.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Everybody's token is set up properly now. That should be good. Delete these from this, because I don't need these here anymore. Alright. Oops. The crab seems to do what it can to shake its head.
Okay. And I believe if it knows a language, it can actually respond telepathically. Just knowing a language.
Not really. But it can, still understand you. Alright. You stand on a rock ledge about 30 feet wide. Ahead of you, set into the vertical rock surface, is a pair of large stone doors, each 10 feet high and 5 feet wide. The surface of the doors is featureless, with no visible handles, except for a rectangular aperture about 6 inches wide by 4 inches high cut into the center of the left-hand door. It's about 6 feet above the ground level, and you can see that a flat metal plate covers the aperture from the inside, like some kind of people. And apparently each square on this map is 10 feet. Just so you guys know.
So
So
3
we're-
squares in turn.
We're
What?
20 feet. We're 20 feet tall.
Oh, apparently you're bigger than you should be. Ugh.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah, I'll fix that. Sorry. Like looking at that and going,
What the-
that's weird. And
What?
then realizing that, oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we are so. The map squares are.
So that still makes us 10 feet tall.
Yeah, but it's like, trying to make you even smaller than that is just problematic. I only do that for for the gnomes because it just works better that way. Any smaller and you can't read anything on your token.
So what's up with this metal plate? Loba's going to try and take a look at it.
All right. It is currently daytime. Okay. So, make a investigation check.
Womp womp.
Yeah. You can see that it is metal. And it is quite strange.
How deep is the hole?
How deep is the hole?
With the aperture?
Yeah, I know, I'm looking at that. It's where the flat metal plate is, so it's probably like 1 inch. Copped by that plate.
Do we think that it's just a flap?
I'm willing to assume that that's true. Looks
I
like a plan
think-
to me.
I think one of the stealthier ones among us should open it. I'm not known for being quiet.
All right. At that, Huxley's going to go forward and open it.
Cogsworth will lift Noxie up as it's 6 feet in the air, apparently.
All right. Let's see. Make a strength check.
All right.
Which one of
Well.
us?
Noxie.
Okay.
All right. Well, we all know I'm good at these, so. Well. Oh wait, that's a save. It doesn't matter. It's still the same result.
Yeah. You press on it, and it doesn't seem to move at all.
Can I brace to give Noxie any kind of benefit?
No. And
Darn.
at this point, I'm just gonna have Volan join you because I'm pretty sure you're gonna need the help.
Oh no.
Volan comes up as quietly as Volan can possibly be. She looks a bit better. Of course, it's hard to tell since she's always green. But she's like, looking at the box of Noxie's head. She kind of like looks at the rest of you and just kind of nods a bit, looking like she's ready to go into a fight if that's what it takes.
Hey, Volan.
Volan kind of puts a finger up to her lips.
I'll try to open the thing.
She kind of,
Noxie.
go ahead, Noxie.
Oh yeah, Noxie's just gonna point at the thing.
But Volan will roll her eyes and glance over at Topaz for a second.
What?
She lifts an eyebrow and decides to step forward and cracks her knuckles.
And also, out of character, just letting you know, as a player, I may not always be able to roleplay the whispering when I'm quiet, just because I had to raise my voice activation thing.
Okay. You can always say whispering before you say it.
True. That I can.
Yeah, and just so you know, I usually don't care to roleplay, to pull in someone else's character if they're not here, because especially when you're going into a potential battle situation, because I'd feel completely terrible if I accidentally got a PC killed off when they're not here. But I kind of figure that you guys are not likely to retreat out the door and run away for Volan to easily find you again once Volan comes back. So it's just a better idea for me to put her here now than to leave her in the ship. So she cracks her knuckles and makes a strength check on that. Athletics. And she easily opens the door, which shows off a not very fun sight beyond. Hold on. You see a bare, Spartan room. Ahead, a short corridor off the room ends in a closed bronze gate. To your left, a single stone bench runs along the east wall. To your right, on the opposite wall, hangs a large metal gong. A short metal bar leans against the wall below it. But what really catches your attention are the several Sahagin that are glaring at you and already moving into the attack. Time for initiative. Now, does anyone need a quick break for the bathroom or anything like that?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Alright, now to do the Sahagin.
Well, the job was just a scout.
Was.
Volan kind of says, then I suggest we keep them from hitting that gong over there. Let's see, Coal Smasher and Champion. Alright.
Please,
And
please.
those are just Sahagins, so.
Please let the dice roll in our favor.
Alright, so I'm just going to put these guys all on the same. I'm going to put the Sahagin all on the same initiative. Just because it's easier for me. And I'm going to put the initiative tracker guy over here, just so that if I accidentally delete him, it's no problem. It's not
Also,
going
is
to
it current?
erase my thing. What?
Is it currently dark?
What?
Is it currently dark?
No, it's morning.
Okay.
Dark down here.
It was dark under the water, but this is above the water. This is up on the
Okay.
surface area.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure because I have an idea.
Okay.
Oh, this is above water.
Yep, this is above water because you climbed up onto the one surface
What's our
area.
merfolk change into a crab?
Yep, crab that's currently sitting on Cogworth's shoulder.
So I can
Yeah.
actually cast spells here.
Cannot. But he can keep the Pass Without Trace active while
Yeah,
moving with.
for all the good that's doing us now.
Yeah, so you'll probably turn back after once his turn comes up. And I'm just noticing all these guys are whispering again. I don't know why it's defaulting to whisper. I don't like whispering unless I'm hiding my actions from my players. Like I was doing over the weekend because I was hiding something in particular. So the Sahagin champion takes a look at all of you and kind of gestures and yells something at the other Sahagins for a moment before taking up its spear and rushing forward at Volan.
What are they speaking in their own language?
They're speaking in Sahagin. Do you understand Sahagin at all?
No.
Does anyone in the party understand Sahagin?
I do not.
Alright. So he is going to...
Really wasn't high on the priority list, you know?
Yeah. He is going to attack Volan 3 times.
Eh,
Eh.
Let's see if any of those hit. I
Fingers
don't
crossed.
think any of those hit. She has a AC of 17.
Yay.
She just kind of dodges out of the way, like... Is that all you get? Dread.
Alright. I'll move to there. Let's get that one.
Alright.
Let's see, normal. Let's see.
Okay, that first one definitely misses, but that second one hits. You carve into its flesh. Bits of blood spill down onto the ground.
Bonus action, I'll cast Shield of Faith on Volan.
Alright, what does Shield of Faith do?
Plus your AC.
Do you have something that lets you attack normally underwater?
We're up in the air.
Oh, that's right.
You're currently in the air. Yeah, this level isn't... You couldn't get into the submerged level. You saw that gate with all those Sahagin there. So you came up to the to the other entrance, which was above the waterline. Noxie!
I'm going to shoot a crossbow at the one that Volan's fighting.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, I love Noxie's. Yeah. Wow.
How's he looking?
27 damage. Wow. He is looking pretty rough now.
I'm going to also invoke Fury with the Small.
All we have to do is make them stay up here for more than 4 hours, and they'll all die.
And that is my turn.
Alright. So I can Cruel Smasher. Let's see.
I mean, I could
See,
kill all the sharks if you wanted
10.
to.
How are there sharks? We're above water.
I know I'm saying if we go back down, I could. Or
10,
if we figure it out
20,
a way to
30.
get me air, I can kill all the sharks.
Let's see, can that guy
One
see
by
anything
the time.
from out there? No, he will wait. Volin will rage. I'm here, rage. And she will attack with her great axe. Let's see, how many times can she do that in a turn? That's at least extra attack. There we go. She will attack twice with her great axe. Oh, miss. Ugh. Should have gone reckless with her. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. But she just definitely looks angry now. Cogsworth. And remember the everything is 10 squares. I mean 10 feet instead of 5 feet. Cogsworth? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Maybe something's wrong with Fumble then.
Sorry.
You guys
If I
okay?
can, I just moved to get an angle to cast silence on the gong. Just looking at my dog real quick. We were
Alright.
concerned something's wrong with him. I'll be back in a moment.
Ooh. Oh, that's not good. One of the dogs. Let's see. I saw silence a minute ago. How far away? 120 feet. Oh, that should be sufficient. Wait, where is the... Ah, that's a gate opening mechanism. Got it. Okay, west wall. So that'd be over here. In order to see that. I don't think Cogsworth can get into position that Cogsworth can see the gong. Because that would require standing where Volan is at the very least.
Sorry, I'm back.
Yeah, it's unfortunately the gong is at the western wall over here, which means that you actually don't see it. Volan is actually the only one who can see that from where she's at. From your position, you cannot see a gong, and you are not aware of it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll move into this position and cast. I'll just make sure I don't see any kind of alarm or anything still, correct? Otherwise, I'll cast Sacred Flame on it.
Let's see if you can see that from where you're at.
Just because of the dark vision 60 feet thing.
Well, no. What I mean is that pull out your measuring tool and see if you can get it if you can reach it from your position without touching the wall. If you can.
Out of character, I can't actually see the gong because of the 60-foot aura thing.
Ah. Yeah, no, you still can't see it from that angle. Sorry.
Okay. You're fine. Yeah, then I will cast Sacred Flame on that one. Let me get it.
On which one?
That one, the
Okay.
blue one.
Got it. Alright, the Smasher needs 15 dexterity. And rolled a 3, so yeah, he takes the full damage.
Cool. And how so excited I get to use silence.
Lubu!
Did I hear Volan mention the gong?
I don't think she had time to describe the room. Everybody was paying attention to the Sahagin.
Okay,
That was just me
Well-
reading the description.
got it. I think Um, Lobu, seeing this like kind of overwhelming force, is going to run up as far as he can, which I think gets him basically into Dread's spot.
Yeah, or like right there.
Okay. And then uh, bonus action, Misty Step, right into the thick of it.
Oh
and
boy.
then he's going to cast his Urchin Spines.
Ooh.
I don't think you can do that along with Misty Step.
Oh, you're
Yeah, you
totally
can't.
right.
Yeah, because
'Cause it's
they both
gotta
take
be
action.
Oh, Misty Step only takes a bonus, but
Misty-
you can only cast 2
Ye-
proper spells in a turn, or 1 proper spell
This
in a turn.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So instead of that,
Cast cantrip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he is going to cast Booming Blade
Ooh.
as he attacks this guy right here.
The Smasher? Alright. Alright, that hits. Okay, takes 7 damage from that. Okay, start the next. Alright, so booming voices on that.
So basically just put a motion sensor on him
Yeah.
if it moves.
Oh. Oh, I see. You make a melee attack as part of that spell. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so that goes to Topaz then.
All right.
Watch out, the crab is technically on
20.
Cogsworth, so.
He's right in front of me, Dread.
Yep.
Can I get past Dread?
How much more movement do you have?
25 feet.
Okay. Yeah, getting past Jed would only take 10 feet, so. 10 and then 20 to get into that square there.
Okay. Still have 5 left. I gotta zoom in. I can't tell what these things are. What is that the champion?
The champion dude is right over here. He was the one that was yelling at the others in the room, and this guy also looks like he's pretty tough. But now he's like sheathed in something that Lebu cast.
All right. Let me go ahead and make some attacks on the champion.
Okay. If you guys are having trouble seeing, I'm just gonna stop showing the nameplates for your characters since we all know who you are.
And I'll spend a key point.
Hold on, let's see if this guy's still alive. Yeah, that guy's still alive.
Try to stun him.
How do you turn off nameplate?
I do it. Constitution saving throw. Succeeds on that.
All right. Well, then I guess we have to try to.
Good rolls.
Still up.
Let's see here. Ah, stupid token. Yes, he is still up.
Flurry of blows. All right.
16 hits. Ooh, he's still alive, though he's bleeding profusely, and there seems to be some crush damage to his various
Turn around and try to break something else vital. Damn it, I'm frustrated.
Yeah,
Trying
you kind
to
of kick your
kill
foot.
this
Into,
guy.
you kind of kick your foot into the wall for
Refuses to die. Yeah, that's it for
2
me.
points of damage to your foot. As it slams into the wall after missing him.
Ouch.
Let's see. 10, 20, 30. I don't think that guy can do any damage from that distance. Nope, 5-foot range. Seems to be glaring at the group of you. Meanwhile, Sahagan, this guy turns and starts moving this way. Libu, attack of opportunity.
You better believe it. Roll 20's being. There we go. Just one.
Alright. 7 points of damage. And he is making a straight run towards the gong. He looks like he's still got one turn to go before he can do anything with his action, though. Because it takes an entire movement just to get over to the gong. There we go. Because the gong would be against the wall, not in the middle of it, so it's right there. These guys now come up. This guy... Sorry, I'm in the middle of taking down the nameplates because they're getting in the way of me seeing anything. On this squeezed of a map, that's how it goes. I don't know why they decided to do it this way, but they did. Anyway, so this guy comes over here, attacks you, Libu. Just to claw at you.
The first one's a hit, second one's a miss. I'll use Kraken's Fury.
Dexterity saving throw. Is that a reaction?
It is.
You already used your reaction to attack the Sahagan.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. No, it took me a moment to remember that. I said, oh yeah, wait a second, that's a reaction. The same thing you do with for attack of opportunity. Let's see, 10, 20, 30. This guy is also going to attack you. So yeah, the 20 would hit you. Accidentally double collected after that. This guy moves in here, moves up one, and attacks Dread. Dread?
Uh-huh.
Alright, 6 and 7. I don't think any of those hit you.
No.
20. This one's going to attempt to attack Topaz. 12, 19. Does 19 hit?
Nope.
Nice. 10, 20, and 30.
You know why?
Because you're awesome.
Racers of defense.
Hell yeah. Great investment. The last one's also going to attack Lebu. He is being swarmed. 22. 3 damage, Lebu.
3 damage.
Alright. The merfolk, let's see. Merfolk, it looks like, let's see, I think the gate is down, hold on. Oh, check something.
What was
Yeah.
that?
No, I was checking something out of character.
Okay.
The merfolk with you continues to stay in the form of a crab. The champion, after taking massive damage from Topaz, turns towards Topaz. Has advantage on attacks on her because of flanking.
Oh no.
And drops its spear in favor of using claws and teeth on you.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know if any of those hit.
The 20 did.
That's when he did. So you take 5 points of damage. And the Sahagan grins, its mouth bloody. Its mouth now bloody from biting you. Dread.
Alright, I'll swing at it.
And just as it's grinning from tasting sea elf blood, Dread comes along with with her long sword and just stabs it right. You only needed the one hit, and just
Oh,
stabs
okay.
it right through through the chest, dropping the champion.
Yeah, the
Uh,
second one
the
is
second one
that
goes
one.
to this guy, which is an instant kill to the Sahagin. The Sahagin didn't even see it coming, as you take your blade out of the dead body of the champion and just ram it through the neck of the other Sahagin.
And we'll step to there.
Noxie.
I'm going to move here
Okay.
and fire a bolt at this one here,
All right.
directly south of Dread.
All right.
And
Ooh, that is a 21. It's like you managed to lodge it directly in the creature's eye, and it screams in pain. But even though it's half blinded, it's still up and moving. It just narrowly missed the brain.
okay, I'm going to move right next to Volan, and then I'll end my turn.
Alright. So this guy, the spell you cast impede damage? Sorry, impede attacks or just movement? Lebu?
Sorry if you hear the dog barking.
That's okay. Lebu?
Oh, yes.
Does it impede attacks or just movement?
Just movement.
Okay. So this guy is going to bring around its warhammer and attack you. Advantage on melee attack rolls against any creature that doesn't have all its hit points. Ooh, it has advantage on you, Lebu.
Right on.
Forgot all about blood frenzy. Right, so at advantage, warhammer, warhammer.
Ow.
Do it.
It just goes smack once into the ribs and once into the side of the head. There's a bit of a crunch, and there's blood flying from Lebu's mouth.
You got a big spell. Feel free to cast it, Lobu. Don't worry about us. It's just me and Dread here.
I got a little plan.
Let's see, Volan gets over here. Volan has some kind of she has javelins, so she can throw those. Let's see here. I'm going to make a dexterity roll on them. Plus proficiency. This is thrown. It's not listed as thrown on her list here. So I'm just going to have to move the ducks for a moment so that I can see that.
If she's throwing javelin, that can use strength.
Oh, cool, it can? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got that
Ah.
versatile, whatever it is. It can...
Well, that's cool then.
I think javelins and hand axe.
Yeah, she throws like the first one at
Ooh.
this guy over here, which instantly kills him, and the next one flies over that guy and hits this guy here. So there's now a javelin sticking out of this guy's chest. And Volan looks pretty satisfied. Cogsworth.
All right. So, do I have the movement to go there
Let's see.
with the difficult
10,
going through
20,
two people?
30. How much movement speed do you have?
30.
Then no.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that not 5 feet?
it's 10 feet.
They're 10.
Oh, I keep forgetting. So, and just because the darkness thing is a little weird, there's like a little darkness bit right here. Can I
Yeah.
actually see past Dread?
Probably not, considering there's two people in front of you.
How tall is Dread?
How tall are you, Dread?
One moment.
I'm guessing near my height.
5'6".
There you
Okay,
go.
so
Can
I'd
you
be
see?
able to see a
Can you
little
see
bit.
better now? It
Yeah.
was part of the door frame.
You're fine. I was just wondering, did the door frame actually stick out pretty bad, or
No,
did it
no.
did it
That's
open on a pretty good hit?
no. It's just the map. Whoever drew the map.
Okay.
Sometimes they do the darkness thing.
Mhm.
And since I can move it, that means it was actually part of the door. And the door's open enough to let you guys see.
I will cast Healing Word at 2nd level on Lobu. So 9. Or no, 12. And then I will cast Sacred Flame on the Warhammer guy. Because screw him.
You can't. I don't think you can see him from where you're at.
I can see his shoulder.
Okay, if you can see his
And-
shoulder, then we're good.
And it ignores cover.
Oh, never mind. I was looking at the other guy. No, you can definitely see the guy that's in front of Lebu. Dexterity saving throw to the Cruel Smasher. Oh, he doesn't. He does not have advantage on that. So yeah, he failed on that.
12 damage.
Yes, the flames dance around this guy's skin along with whatever weird pulse Lobu put on it. Lobu! You definitely see one of Sahagan running towards a gong.
Yeah. Lobu's, after taking like a bunch of nasty hits, he's kind of got blood running out of his mouth a little bit. And he's like, "You fucking shark bully pieces of shit." And then he's going to cast, use his bracelet of rock magic and cast Flesh to Stone. On the gong guy.
Okay. Hagen makes a Constitution saving throw.
What is this? Never mind.
Oh, that is nice. Sahagan looks like it's just about ready to it's picking up the mallet and looking like it's about ready to smash into the gong when its entire body locks up and it turns into a statue.
And then that's my turn.
I just want to see how this looks. Yeah, it's not quite right, but I'm just gonna. That facilitates at least that one does
Nice.
have a mallet in the hand. Technically, it's a tiefling with a mace and a shield, but I figured that, gong mallet. Gong mallet in hand. Anything else you can do, Lubu?
Now that's the end of it.
Topaz.
All right. So this guy, what's his deal? He's just got a booming blade on him. Is that what that?
Yep.
And that should be over by now, actually.
Okay.
Eh,
He looks very bloodied,
does he?
but he's also carrying a warhammer that is covered in Lubu's blood.
Which is also bloody.
Well, let's try to take him out of the action then. I'll go after him.
All right,
Good
that's definitely
roll.
enough. You reach out, you just kind of like jam your spear right into this guy's mouth and down the throat a bit until it's out the back, really skewering the guy.
All right, then I shall move. So 10, 20.
And you take an attack of opportunity from that Sahagan there.
Yeah, I don't care. Let him take. That misses.
Mhm.
Just blocking the path to the gong.
All right.
And I will finish my attacks out on that dude there.
That definitely hits. Followed up with a kick.
Great rolls today, Topaz.
Mm-hmm. Nearly knocking that guy off balance with your hits. Streaks of blood coming down their back. Anything else?
Nope, that'll do me.
Alright.
What are they doing down here? Is this guy doing anything?
They don't appear to be oblivious to what's going on at the moment.
Really? Okay.
They're just kind of hanging out. Apparently, as far as they're concerned, as long as that gong's not banging, everything's good.
Okay. That's fine.
So I can Coral Commander. Let's see this guy. Saw what Lobu did and instantly comes running forward towards him. 2 attacks with the Warhammer. Advantage.
Miss and a miss.
Okay, the rest of the Sahagin are pretty much all going for Lobu. Oh, and they all have Blood Frenzy, which means they all have advantage on you.
Oh no. You might need that 12 health.
Bite, Claw. 19 and 5 and 21.
Is that because we're not at full health?
Yep. Blood Frenzy, and this is all on Lobu. So that's 8 damage from that one. Bite. Claw. 5 damage from the second. Bite. Claw. And the third one misses you.
I'm gonna use Kraken's Fury on one of those boys.
Which one would you like to use it on? First
one that hit me,
okay.
I guess.
That's the one that Topaz did a number on, by the way. Okay. Yeah, that one's it's at half damage if it succeeds on dexterity saving throw.
Yep.
Then I don't need to roll. It's dead. Saying test remains a crab. Dread.
Alright, I'll move here and swing at that one.
Alright, you have advantage.
Let's see, drop that.
Alright. That's a hit. As is that. But these guys are tougher than the little guys here, and can weather a lot more damage.
Let's see, bonus action I will cast Shield of, or not Shield, cast Spiritual Weapon. Put it there and have it attack.
I can never remember if it's concentration or not.
It's not. That's why it's so great.
Excellent. What does your spiritual weapon look like?
It's the skull.
That's right. I remember now.
Does that mean your spiritual weapon could wear my spiritual weapon?
Maybe.
Did I just kill our DM?
No. I was just remembering that you're concentrating on that over there for Volan, right? And I tend to use pink as my concentration one because it's the it's the second. I use yellow to denote if somebody has a light on them, just so they're spreading a light source. And then because I rarely get to the pink when I'm coming to grouping enemy combatants, I tend to use that for concentrate to remind myself that you've got a concentration spell up in case I hit you.
Okay. That'd be end of turn.
All right. Can the spiritual weapon attack this guy here?
Yeah, good.
All right.
Blue boy.
Oh, blue boy. Got it.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Everyone's rolling pretty great though.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Noxie.
How is this guy looking?
very bloody. It's like, he's got things have been hitting him pretty badly. It looks looks like Dread really cut him to ribbons, and then for added bonus, smacked him with a flying skull.
Okay. I will hit this guy south of Lobu with a crossbow.
All right. So there is a twang. Libu, the guy directly in front of you, falls over with a crossbolt directly in one eye. And just
Thanks,
kind
Noxie.
of hits the ground.
You got
I
a
don't
thumbs
have
up
to
from
look
Moxie.
back. I know exactly who did that.
Does it take any particular actions or bonus actions to use the stone to speak?
Free action.
Okay.
my
Noxie
strength.
says, "Fear my strength." That is the end of my turn.
That is an
Oh,
X.
I will be walking right behind here,
Okay.
and that's my turn.
Let's see. Volin will come over, lift up her great axe, and take 2 whacks at the guy in front of her.
Nice.
Actually, she will take 1 axe in the guy in front of her. Use the rest of her movement to get here and take another whack on this guy, killing 2 people in 1 round.
Clean up.
Nice.
Yep.
Isn't this a recon mission?
Yeah,
You're out of initiative, as these guys down here have not noticed a thing.
And yes, Noxie, it is indeed a reckon mission.
All right.
Lobu will whisper to the group. So, do we stand on either side of the doors and ring the gong, or?
There is a gate here that is currently down. I mean, it's currently in place, keeping you guys from moving past it.
How long is your sculpture going to be like that?
Until someone gets around to turning him back, really. Let me see. Let me reread that.
Yeah, guess I'll drop concentration on Shield of Faith.
You should drop concentration?
Yeah.
Alright.
Hey,
And-
Noxie.
She looks up at you.
I see
Volin-
there's a...
Volin curses as she notices that both of the javelins she threw are broken.
I'm also gonna do the same. I'm gonna look for crossbow bolts while Cogsworth is talking to me.
Alright, roll 1 more than you fired.
Alright, hold on, guys. I reread that spell. I need to make constitution checks to keep that guy stoned.
You find 1 of your crossbow bolts, the rest have been destroyed.
Do you need to make the checks, or does it need to make the checks?
I guess I'm a little unclear on that. I'll paste it into the chat again.
No, there's no concentration. It's just duration up to a minute. He's got to make saves
Well-
to see if it's permanent or not.
Lobu does need to maintain concentration, but I
That's
don't
not
see
an
the
advantage.
duration.
That's 6 ability is
It-
6. It's
It doesn't say he has his concentration spell for Flesh to Stone. It just says duration up to 1 minute, period.
If you maintain your concentration on this spell for the entire possible duration, the creature is turned to stone until the effect is removed.
Well, it wasn't filled out properly up top.
Sounds about right.
okay. So let me check on the 3rd one. As you're talking about this, you notice that the stony features on the Sahagin are beginning to change back to normal flesh. What do you do?
We're not in initiative anymore.
Not in initiative anymore, so I'm just giving you a
Go
quick...
stab it in the back of the head.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you notice that just as you're talking about that spell there, that this guy's not quite as stoned as he at first appeared to be. Okay, so you get your full attack on Sahagin.
Is he still considered incapacitated? Is that automatic
Yes.
crit?
Automatic crit.
Uh,
And you get advantage on it.
let's see. advantage.
Oh yeah. Yeah, ah! And then it just kind of. Actually, it's not quite dead yet from that. Uh, but it's like it's completely startled out of its thing as the blood starts running down its body from that one attack.
Okay.
Lobo
Are those
attacks you.
are those actual rolls
No. Change the crit range.
Okay, cool. I was about to say because that would be crazy, but yeah, if but yeah, that's enough to take it out. It's like 2 hits with your spear and you just pretty much carve that guy down before he can has a chance to hit that gong.
I think we should throw the map out.
I'm going to motion the Noxie and point down the corridor.
Noxie will try to sneak up on one of these Sahagin.
There's a gate in the way.
Oh, there's a gate? Oh, yeah. My bad. I will try to open the gate then.
That
Alright.
gong? How is it attached to the wall?
It just appears to be mounted on a bit of a I forget what the terminology is, but something that I would think of it like kind of a similar way that that a towel rack is mounted.
Okay. So how close is it to the wall?
Uh, Probably about the same distance as a towel rack.
Okay. Is there any way I could take the robes out of this bag of holding and shove them behind the gong? So if someone were to hit it later, it would be dampened?
You can certainly try.
I would like to try.
All right, use dexterity as the crab has moved over towards Noxie and seems to be looking at the gate.
Womp womp.
Yeah, you attempt to step them through and they don't want to hold and they fall down and the gong shivers a bit as if you nearly hit it into the wall, which would have probably made it ring at that point.
I'm going to try and open this gate now. Do I need to make a check?
The crab attempts to snip at you.
Oh.
The crab starts walking and is attempting to squeeze through the gate bars, which is really easy for the crab. Hold on, I need to roll a dexterity saving throw to see what its sneak ability is here. And it still has pass without a trace up, so
Nice.
not bad. So it is moving over here and is gazing up at something.
What is that? That looks like a coronavirus.
It's a wheel.
Okay.
Does it look like it can't quite turn or like can't do something it's trying to do?
Right, I'm studying the mechanism right now. Sorry. Noxie, roll me a perception check.
Alrighty.
As you're waiting for the crab to figure out what the crab's doing, you glance this way, that way, down, then finally up, and you finally notice there is a large net hanging right past the gate, and it looks like it would be very easily dropped on you if from some sort of mechanism on the other side if you attempted to move through the gate without clearance.
Alright. I will relay this information to the party by just kind of writing down basically what you just said.
Trying to see what
Is there any way to disarm it from where I am?
disarm the net.
Yeah.
It's up on the ceiling, and you don't see any device on this side of the gate. If you attempt to climb the wall, you might have better luck.
How wide are the gate bars?
Uh, a wide enough to admit the crab doesn't look like it would that you could fit through there.
Okay.
I mean, you're small, but you're not quite small enough for to fit through. Anyone else wish to do something?
How far up are they? Is it the net, rather?
Let's see. I'm checking to see if there's a specifics on the room areas, just in case. Yeah, which is what I thought. All gates in this place, unless otherwise said, are considered to be 10 feet high.
I will take out my spear, hand it to Noxie, and see if Noxie would like to be lifted up so she can attempt
All
to
corridors and this is one of those things that I always forget to mention when I'm in these things. 'Cause I always forget. Sorry about that. All corridors and room. Let's see. All corridors are 10 feet wide and 15 feet high. All rooms are 20 feet high, except for otherwise stated. So the ceiling just above the gate is only 10 feet high, but the rest of the room is 20 foot high.
So is the net 10 or 15 feet high?
It's 10. It's 10 feet high. It's because it's above the gate.
Okay. Then yeah, if Noxie is willing, I'm gonna hand her the spear and lift her up so she can try to cut down the net.
Yep, and I will happily allow that.
While you're doing that, Lobu will awaken mind. Can I stand where Noxie's standing right now for just a minute?
To who? To me? Or to Noxie?
Noxie, I guess.
Actually, we'll just back up.
And then I want to use Awakened Mind to talk to Armor Friend
saying
in
Tesh.
that form.
Oh, hello. I am trying to reach a device that will let me open this gate immediately.
As long as you're sure that's what that does, I can probably help you out a little bit. I've got a spectral hand that might give you a hand.
Do you need to see in order to use it?
Let me take a look. I assume so. Spectral floating hand appears upon its range. Lasts until you dismiss it as an action. You can use your action to control the hand. You can use the hand to manipulate an object, open and unlock a thing. You can move the hand up to 30 feet each time you use it. It doesn't say I have to see, so as long as the crab can direct me.
I'll accept that. Well, that would be useful. I was thinking about resuming my form, but I'm thinking that stealthing here a bit better off as a crab for now.
Yeah, no point blowing one of those.
So, do you wish to use that hand?
I'm gonna communicate to the rest of the group and be like, are we ready for this gate?
Let's cut down the net first.
Noxie, make an attack roll with whatever you're using to cut down the net.
All right. I'm gonna
Actually, first roll me a acrobatics check. I want to see how well your balance is on that pole. All right, you're fine.
On a pole?
On the spear.
On me?
Oh, on you. I thought you were using the spear.
No, I'm lifting up Noxie, and then Noxie's using the extra reach.
Ah,
the
you're
extra bit
using
of
the
reach from the
spear
spear.
to get it. Good. Okay, then you make an attack roll with the spear. Yeah, for a second, I was picturing something else entirely with that scenario.
No. I'm just balancing Noxie on my shoulders while she
I
reaches up.
I thought you were balancing her on the pole, using that to push her upwards while she used a knife on the thing.
I'm taller than the spear.
Alright. I have to get. I don't actually have a spear in my macro list. Hold on.
You're good. Yeah, I was
No.
thinking we could use it like those extended saw things that you can like
Yeah.
reach up tree branches.
Yeah. Branch cutters. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
What is it? I know that I forget what their specific name is, but I can picture the object. Nice.
Damn, people are getting some good
No
rolls.
sneak attack damage on it, but yeah. So you kind of like saw into that net trap. Let's see here.
I mean, don't I get sneak attack though?
Nah, it's not a creature.
But can it
So-
see him? Is it not surprised to be cut down?
So the two tabs of the net fall harmlessly to either side of the ceiling. Noxie has successfully taken down the trap.
Dun, 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 dun,
Alright.
dun, dun.
And guess what game is being re-released this week? Or
Mhm.
is that, yeah.
Oh, this week. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like if I can buy it for myself once I beat Doom. Anyway.
Oh, I beat Doom the other day.
Yeah, I was going to on Monday, but then I had a pulse one of those stupid sinus pulse headaches, and it's like,
Oh.
that's not good for wanting to play a fast-paced action game.
That screams heavy metal while you play.
Exactly. But yeah, Noxie committed that. So Libu.
Yeah, then I'll coordinate with. What's our friend's name again?
Sangtesh.
I'll coordinate with Sangtesh to help open that up.
All right. You do so, and with a heavy clang that reverberates through through the room that you're in, the gate drops drops into the floor. The two Sahagin turn in surprise and blink at the group of you.
Charge?
Charge.
I was like gonna say we're pretty much ready for battle.
All right.
Ooh.
Still just a scouting mission, folks.
So,
That's what they always say.
so would I technically be where Lobu is, or did I move back?
Well, I assume that Libu's now, you guys changed places when Libu was
Okay.
talking to the crab.
Sounds good. Well, I'm back. It's zirconium, everybody.
Oh, Volan. I forgot about Volan. 1 second. Wow, she has a lot of hit points.
Hasn't gotten hit once. And then there's Lobu.
And
Yeah,
Libu's
so
first.
After this, I'm going to start taking a back seat, I think.
Aren't you a warlock? Don't you have a blast that you can be eldritching?
Oh, I don't do that. That's optimized. Get that out of here.
Yeah, his warlock does Eldritch Blast. This Saturday, everyone.
Oh yeah.
Lobu is the rarely found, little known, non hexblade rapier wielding warlock.
He has a rapier and doesn't have a use hexblade? Wow. Rare breed.
I generally go
Spiky.
for weirdness in my builds, not necessarily efficiency.
I appreciate weirdness over that. Sometimes they come up with interesting solutions. You gonna do any attacks, or are you just coming in?
Just coming in, throwing on the urchin spines, and
Alright.
if I can, I'll be like, "Come at me."
Libu's skin suddenly bristles with spines, making him look like a pufferfish almost. Noxie!
All right, I'm going to charge in. Every square is 10 feet, right?
Yep.
All right, so I
So
can
what does
get
that mean for a goblin? Because they have the 25.
Goblin does not have 25.
Yeah, that's like a gnome or something.
Yeah.
You don't have the same movement as a gnome?
They got tiny
I do
little
not.
legs. A kobold doesn't either. For some reason, gnomes are slow.
And have like
My kobold is 2 feet. I've got a kobold that's 2 feet tall. She can still run very fast.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go over here and I'm going to crossbow bolt this guy. Are they surprised? I forgot.
No, they turned around and saw you.
All right. Then I'll just be a regular shot.
Right by Spiky Lobo.
And that'll be my turn.
That's out a yelp of pain. Valen, 10, 20, 30. Let's see, Valen has speed of 40, 40, 10, 20, 30, and 40. She goes and steps in the middle of the room wielding her axe. And she does not rage at this point. She only sees 2 enemies and she knows how squishy they are. So again, that doesn't stop them from charging at her. And that guy is not. She's not hurt, so they do not get advantage on her. She just laughs that off. Second Sahagin runs forward. Now they have Now they have that, so they get that on her.
I say they have blood frenzy and pack tactics. God
Not
damn.
pack tactics. It's
Yeah. Yeah,
back
I
to
know.
back.
Flanking.
Yeah. So she does take 2. She does take 10 damage from that, but she is still got more health than anyone else in the party. Even Dread. Topaz.
20, 30, 40. What happens with a 45?
It just rounds down to 40.
All right. Not an advantage. Get rid of that.
Well, that still hits for 10. It's still alive though, but it's got blood leaking down out of an ear
Jeez.
and splattering the floor. It seems to be missing a tooth, but it manages to dodge out of the way of your the next 2 hits. You aim at it, and it's shouting at you in its weird shark language.
Yeah, blah, blah, yeah, yourself.
Dread.
I will dash to there.
Alright. Cogsworth.
Yay. Right, so you said these are 10, 2, 3. Yeah, I will go here. And does this one look a little more beat up?
Yes, that one looks like it's about to drop.
All right, and the other one looks pretty healthy.
The other one hasn't been hit yet.
Yeah, I will Sacred Flame the injured one.
Okay. And that sacred flame just flashes over its body, and when the flame fades, it's down on the ground, dead.
Yay.
The little crab just goes snip, 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 snip. Lubu.
Yeah, he's just
Peach.
gonna run up and smack him.
Alright, you do 10 points of damage as you manage to hit it both times. First with the rapier, and then with the dagger.
That's it.
Noxie.
All right. I'm going to move here and join in attacking this guy.
Surround and pound.
Let's see. This one will not have sneak attack. It does technically, but I'm not going to use sneak attack on this attack.
Alright.
And then I'm going to use sneak attack on the offhand. Oh no.
And that misses.
Well, that's my turn. Oh, well, I'll disengage. And then I'll end my turn.
Bonus action, disengage! Gotta love rogues.
Yep. Take
Whoa,
that.
let's see, Volin
Never mind.
just swings her axe around. Rah! And cleaves the Shahagan in two. The two halves of it dropping limply to the ground.
Good roll.
She smirks. It looks like she's going to pat Lebu and then withdraws her hand away because of all the spikes.
Is the pass without trace still in effect?
Yes it is.
Let's get sneaky.
Do my best.
Sadly, Lebu, that casting seems to have been completely useless.
What was that?
The sea urchin would have been so useful when he was in the previous fight when he was surrounded. Not so useful with the two squishies.
Yeah.
And I'll actually take this time to walk up to Lobo and just go ahead and cast one Cure Wound. At level 1.
Do we feel like we could take a short rest?
Not now.
All right.
So you get 8 healing. I rolled the lowest possible with all my bonuses. Also, but as I do heal you though, I will be pinching your ear, and basically mother henning you to stop getting into so much danger.
I refuse.
I will stop healing you.
Yeah, I'll actually use a first level slot and use the
So,
cure wound.
description of this room, real quick. This bare Spartan room also has a stone bench along its, but this time around its southern wall. It continues to run at an angle to the western wall. You can see that there's a chain and pulley mechanism that appears to have been pulled, mounted to the north wall next to the exit to the north. The two Sahagin bodies are just laying across the floor. It doesn't look like there's anyone else currently in this room. Just the group of you.
Yeah, see,
Quick reconnaissance. Let's go.
Lobu, you get 6 back.
Stealth rolls, guys. Stealth rolls. Just because the password of trace is still up doesn't mean your stealth. You need to re-roll stealth.
Ooh.
At least it's plus 10, which means that's actually a 20.
12.
That's actually a 12, and the crab is on your shoulder, Cogsworth.
Yep. I'm doing my
Ever
best,
roll-
okay?
How long does spiritual weapon last, Dread?
I believe it's only a minute or so.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
Let's see.
Are we getting an average stealth roll out of this? How's that working?
Yeah, I don't want to penalize the individuals here, so I'm giving you guys an average.
Thank you.
Be gone.
Completely forgot about Fallen rolling stealth.
Half the party's like, choo, 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 ah, 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 choo, 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 ah, ah. And then in the back of the party,
No. You're here.
what the?
And I'm like, ching, ching, ching. Ow, ow, ow. I'm doing my best, guys. I'm a machine.
Yeah, inside the stronghold, there's pretty much no additional light. Thankfully, all of you do have dark vision, which is enough to keep you guys going.
So I will be staying as far back as possible while still, keeping the radius up. In the vain hope that it will somehow affect them catching me.
Sticking to the
As you enter
wall.
into this room,
early.
you can find that this particular room has plain stone floor, walls, and ceiling. There are 2 rows of metal racks that run almost the entire length of the room from east to west. They are set parallel and about 6 feet apart, leaving a passage between them. A large number of spears, tridents, and other weapons are arrayed on these racks. There are also 2 large closed coffers that sit to either side of the southern archway.
This here.
That would be this entire room here, yeah. And yeah, this is the archway to the south. But this entire room appears to be filled with weapons, and there are 2 doors heading to the north.
I hate to do this, guys, but I gotta go.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. So I think this is a good stopping point then, since we're missing some people.
All right.
You guys have made your way into the armory, and it's currently unguarded.
Unguarded?
Okay.
Okay.
It's possible that those particular guards were hanging out in that first room that you end up slaughtering them all.
Okay.
Just saying,
Alright.
Cosworth folks, we
They
should
might
check
all
the
be
armory.
below.
And there's
Alright,
that
good
too.
night,
It
guys.
could be because they're already massing and they're getting ready to
Excuse
come
me.
here.
They might all be below,
Good night.
considering they don't normally breathe air very well.
Alright.
And that's
Night, guys.
also true. Good night.
Yep.